This is Leah with Backyard Homestead in Starkville, Mississippi. And we're out working in the garden a little this afternoon. It is June 7th. What is this, Tuesday, June 7th. And these green beans, this is our second planting of Provider green beans. And they are ready to harvest. So I'm going to get out. And this will be our first picking of green beans on these two rows. So I'm going to get out here and pick these. See that, and let me show what else we're going to pick today. We went ahead and pulled the rest of our carrots. Let's have a big nice batch of carrots here that we just pulled. We're going to cut the grains off those and do a weigh-in on those in a minute. And another thing I want us to go ahead and harvest this afternoon is our peaches. Our peach tree has been looking nice, and we have several nice peaches hanging and a few. Where are you going? Go ahead and get them. Look how pretty. Beautiful peaches. There's one over there. That one's gorgeous. That's a picture. Several of them have started to fall on the ground. They didn't quite get ripe. The birds have been enjoying that. But we're going to pick all these, and we'll come back and do a weigh-in with several nice little clusters. Been real pleased with this tree. Here's one. That one got a little overripe. Yep, and this tree has been pretty impressive because it's growing almost in complete shade. We're directly under this big oak. So we planted it, just going to let it grow for a little while until we're kind of looking for land. So if we found land, we were going to be able to get some growth on it and then just dig it up and take it with us. But we've actually gotten peaches off of it in the meantime. So I've been real pleasantly surprised with this. And here's a few more. So we're going to go through and go ahead and pick all these. And then I'm going to gather the ones up off the ground too and go ahead and throw them in with the chickens. I was in here trying to find checking to see if there was any squash ready to pick. And here's another one of those guys. I'm gonna go ahead and pick him a little small. But while I was in here, I've been keeping my eye on this guy for a little while. And this is our first tomato of the season. This is a Betterboy. So I'm gonna go ahead and get him, but our very first ripe tomato. Beautiful. Very nice. And you have a whole lot of green ones hanging on these plants, but nothing else is even starting to turn that I found. This will be nice. I'll sit him in the window for a little while, let him get a little redder. But very, very nice. First Betterboy tomato of the season. Also found this guy. These are our thornless blackberries. Some of our thornless blackberries. These are the ones we have growing by our shed. And got our first nice ripe one of the season. We'll go ahead and get him too. These berries are big and beautiful, and the vines don't have any thorns on them. So pretty nice. Okay, this is our patch of Swiss chard. And let's see, all the way from this end down to this end. And we've started picking a lot more off of this end and just kind of working our way up the fence. And so today we're going to harvest a lot of this guy and cook him up. And this has been delicious. Just cut the biggest leaves off of and leave the smaller foliage. And then it'll be ready to pick again by the time we get to the end of the row. And we like just to cook this and eat it. And I also like to use some of it in my smoothie in the morning. And I like to chop some of it up and saute it and then put it in omelets. So we use it in a lot of different ways. But this batch is probably just going to be, we're just going to steam it and eat it. Okay, so this is about what the plant looks like when we get done, when we get finished harvesting one. We cut it back pretty severely, leave a few green leaves just to feed the plant, but cut it back pretty severely. And then this will be the next one we move to and start to harvest on. Okay, this is the garlic that we harvested earlier. This is what was in that garlic bed. And then this is the garlic we harvested out of the garlic hills that were along the fence. and we've had it drying out for a couple of weeks now, and it is, oops, sorry, it is good and dry. And we don't do a weigh-in on our garlic until after we remove the foliage and cut the big roots off. So I'm going to load these up now and carry them outside, and we're going to cut all the foliage off the top, the dried foliage, and cut the roots off, and then we'll do a weigh-in on this garlic too. Okay, so this is all our garlic in the wheelbarrow, and we're going to cut off, remove the old dead foliage and cut off the roots, and then that's a big pretty one, and put them in here to go in and do a weigh-in. Just cutting off the tops, cutting off the roots. And that's it. It's good and dry. It's ready to go. Now we'll just put it in a cool, dry place, and I will eventually start working on going ahead and taking apart the cloves and dicing up some of it to freeze. But this will keep like this for a long time. All right, I'm gonna help with this. We'll come back and do a weigh-in when we get it all cleaned up. Okay, this is today's garden harvest, and there are some first harvests of the year and some last harvests of the year in here. Let's see, go in order by the list. Peaches will be our first and last harvest of this year, and we got 4.36 pounds of peaches. This is our very first harvest of blackberries, and they just a couple had already turned, and there's a lot more turning, so we should get some decent harvest later. But this is our first little blackberries of the year, and we got 0.05 pounds of blackberries. Our first Betterboy tomato, very first one to turn red this year, 0.35 pounds. These are off our mammoth jalapeno plants, and this is our very first harvest of the year of these. This is 0.19 pounds of mammoth jalapenos. Our Swiss chard down here, we got 2.28 pounds of Swiss chard for today. Squash, we've got 0.61 pounds of yellow straightneck squash. This will be our last harvest of carrots for this season. We'll get some more planted in the fall, but this is 5.82 pounds of carrots, and these are the Danvers Half long carrots. Green beans, we've got 9.39 pounds of green beans, and our garlic, we got 9.27 pounds of garlic, and I'm really pleased with the garlic harvest this year. They're big and they're gorgeous. And I forgot to mention, we will let this just continue drying as it is. I mean, it's dried out and ready now, and it'll store like this, but I'll start chopping some up. And also, we haven't bought garlic in, I don't think, since 2007, because we always just save some of the garlic from each year's harvest and plant again in around October. So we'll use some of this garlic to plant next year's garlic. All right, and I think that is about it for today's random garden harvest. Thanks for watching.